we have a great panel, which is Mobilízame, and reaching the Hispanic market through mobile apps. And everybody that's on our panel is doing something spectacular. But let's talk about a little bit about the Hispanic purchasing power, which is expected to grow going 1.5 trillion by the end of 2015. And you know, we continue to see businesses and all these things that are happening. And we, in particular, the Hispanic community, who's over-indexing on mobile, really is moving that mobile marketing platform forward. And it's also a great opportunity to become a business owner where maybe you can grow an app and maybe it's this tremendous opportunity for yourself. But when we're talking about the teens in the United States, who are really the ones who are dominating this market, 1.5 teens in the United States, and by 2020, their numbers were predicted to rise by 62%. 62%, that's huge numbers. And we, again, are already oversubscribing to cell phones and mobile applications and all that. So with that being said, that sets the groundwork for what we're going to be talking about. And my platform is really easy. I'm going to speak, introduce the panel, of course, and I think I'll do that right now. I've got a couple of add-ins. So first I'm going to introduce Jose Salcedo. And Jose Salcedo is an entrepreneur, former music industry executive who has built his career in the nexus where music and technology meet. 360 Pro Mobile is the leading Latino owned full-service mobile marketing and development agency in the U.S. They help brand and startups engage their customers. So that's Jose. Let's give him a round of applause. Next is Ariel. And Ariel Ferreiro is the CEO and founder of Upstep. And Ariel is a living organ donor and has had many accomplishments throughout his young career, and his progressive works that supports of local nonprofits and small businesses has helped strengthen and maintain many public services within the community. Mr. Ferreira is no stranger to nonprofit and political sector, and prior to launching his Upstep, he was working for the New York Women's Chamber of Commerce. So let's give him a big round of applause. The next person on the panel really doesn't need no introduction other than hasta las 15 de la mañana y oro who. Raul Acosta, Vice President of Marketing at Olympus Holdings. Raul Acosta has over 20 years of experience in the Hispanic media and entertainment industry. He is really one of the guys who made merengue get to where it was by the way they were branding themselves, the way they were dancing. So they did a lot of great things back in those days. But now it's a totally different world, so he's developing other ways of doing it. So now, as the CEO of 24 Carat Entertainment, he has created and organized a network of people around the world in television, print, internet, and radio. And this includes artists, actors, hosts, promoters, sales and booking agents, event producers, publishing reps. The list goes on and on. But he's been working with many Hispanic media companies as a consultant and talent for co-producing events and performances. These companies include Univision, TV and Radio, Telemundo, Teleazteca, Mundos, SB Communications, Mega Communications, Clear Channel, and again, Oro Soli. Anyway, a big hand for my friend. And last but not least, we keep talking about how do we do disruptive technologies and how do we make things happen that are out of the box and fills the niche. Well, I believe that Olenka and Adam Polak are the creators of a new app called MyLingo, which basically it takes what it's watching through your cell phone and intelligently turns it into a Hispanic or different language. Right now, we know that we have Latino, but there's going to be a growth in that. Right? So let me introduce them. They're the co-founders of MyLingo in 2012 with the intention of sharing the magic of movie theater with non-English speaking viewers, a population previously isolated from the industry by various language barriers. Largely inspired by their childhood in Polish speaking household, where lingual differences pose a tangible challenge, and the siblings developed a mobile app that collects audio tracks in multiple different languages, making them available in movie theaters and worldwide. I wish I had this when I first got here to the United States. It would have been helpful, very helpful. Oleg started MyLingo as a resident at the Harvard Innovations Lab and sat on the board of the Harvard College Entrepreneurship Forum. So let's give them a hand. Well, what I'm going to do is I'm going to give everybody 10 minutes to be able to speak. So, Jose, you're first, so please step up.
Hello, everyone. How are we doing?
Good. How are you?
Okay, so one of the reasons we're here is obviously we've noticed over the couple of years that us Latinos and Millennials have been incredibly, moving forward towards consuming social media, and they're consuming social media via what's now very widespread, platforms or devices like mobile phones. So I feel that over the years we've been able to now find different niches and different ways to kind of go out and market ourselves, from bloggers to internet comedians to some of the biggest names in entertainment. So I brought along some of the projects that we've been working on, and I can kind of speak a little bit about some of the things we've been doing. I started 360 Pro Mobile approximately 2 years ago with one of my partners, Kevin Montano, who's also here. We worked very heavily in the music industry and noticed that there was a void to be filled in terms of providing easier access to music and entertainment to a lot of people's a lot of the DJs followers. So we started off with an app for one of the biggest DJs in New York. His name is DJ from Mr. Flex, and this is a guy who's been similar to Raul, 20 plus years in the music industry, and he wanted to find a new way to kind of go out and engage with his large fan base. So finding ways to kind of reinvent himself, we sat with him and found a way to capture the experience of what it was to older music and put it together in a different platform where now people can engage with him every single day. We're proud to say that it was #1 on the Android stores for 2 weeks, and for Latinos, myself coming up to New York, I was a huge fan of him. It was a pretty big deal, coming from a conception of an idea to now all of a sudden he's like the mobile, like the standard for DJs who want to kind of create an app, and it's not so more just a CD. It's more now a lot much more engaging. So that's one example of some of the things that we've been working with. Some of the gentlemen that I have here also, Raul, we just launched his mobile app, and for somebody like Raul who sold millions of records and has been on a platform that the touring and everything now, gentlemen like Jose, who's been known him for years, can now pretty much download his app and engage and find out new contests and different ways on how you can kind of communicate with your favorite star, or a small company. But the reason we're here is that there's a lot of, you don't have to be a huge star or come up with a tremendous idea to have a mobile app. Small businesses and bloggers like yourself also are choosing to integrate what's via WordPress. Now you could generate a mobile app where all your content is pretty much synced in, and as you update a new article or a new link, say you find something cool on Instagram, you can kind of retweet it, and it'll also come out on your mobile app. So we're here to just really show you that what 5 years ago what the websites were and blogs, now a mobile app is pretty much native, and because of the different monetizing options that you have now, it's a lot more profitable than say, like if you open up a brand new website now. So, if anybody has any questions, I mean, we're open to speaking questions, but I feel that, us as Latinos, we're always finding new ways to create a revolution, and we're doing everything from, working with huge TV networks to, which some of my partners here will also speak about some of the projects we're doing, but just kind of paving the way and showing you guys that, us Latinos are here to really, break down the walls and start a party like we always do. So thank you very much.
As more and more Latinos are getting into the apps, we're going to be producing, and one of the biggest problems that it was that we had been mostly consumers. Now we're starting to affect the actual buying power. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring Ariel up. Ariel, if you don't mind. Give him a hand, folks.
Definitely want to thank everyone for coming and also for having me. Just like Jose was saying earlier, one of the things, como Mobilízame and social media, one of the things that he mentioned was the buying power. Hispanics are on the verge of hitting $1 trillion as a buying power. And as we move into a modern technology world and a high-tech world, and we live in an instant gratification world where everything has to be at the tip of our fingers and a drop of a dime, it's also important to know that Hispanics are also the population that's highly engaged in social media and mobile devices. According to any other groups, 80% of Hispanic adults use social media. So we're the #1 when it comes to social media. So what does that mean? That we, as businesses, bloggers, actors, musicians, we need to meet our target market where they are and where they're active. So another thing, just to let you know real quick, and I'm just going to shoot some numbers, but 48% of Hispanics use social media as a purchasing process. 71% use their mobile devices to see content. And also above the average, the other cultural groups, Hispanics are using their phones 4.5 hours on a daily basis. That's an hour more than what other groups are using it. And we're also making 13 calls a day, porque nos gusta hablar mucho. We have more people to call. So it's not just, we have a bigger family, right?
Yeah, right.
My grandmother has 16 kids, so imagine that. Right? So it's not just about building a great app, and I congratulate the siblings here who created my lingo, but it's also how to tap into your business and create an app that can connect with your clientele, with your target market. One of the things that we fail to realize is a lot of people focus on the purchase apps and not the free apps, not realizing that a lot of the money that's made in the mobile industry is through in-app purchases. So for restaurants, one of the things that we've been doing is teaching restaurants, especially the Latino-owned restaurants, is how to make their own apps, mobile apps, where they can have people order their food and they can break off from that Seamless and Grubhub and cut off that middleman fee, and they can benefit from all the stuff. We also have some actors for, I know that Jose worked on an app for a local comedian, his name is Lupi, and every time he puts up an article or anytime he puts up a video, all his followers get that quick notification that we all see in our front screen of our iPhone or Androids. We all think it's a text message. We get annoyed sometimes because we get like 50 of them, but that's how we meet our clientele. So if our clients or our target market is there on their mobile apps, this is the new place that we need to meet them. And it's by creating mobile apps and using social media to spread the word to download these apps. Because websites are just websites now. Who's been on a website for longer than a minute? Oh, you guys have a lot of time here. So the last time, I go real quick straight to the point when I go to a website, and 15 seconds, 30 seconds tops, I get what I want. If I'm bored, I leave. But the mobile apps, you know, the average person downloads about 65 apps on their phone. And they try to do and manage their daily basis on what they do with their errands, purchases, how they carry about their days through their phone. So it's very important now that we know, one, the spending power for Hispanics. Two, they're the #1 group when it comes to using social media and their mobile devices. So why not switch our marketing strategies and our marketing tools to get these spending dollars in our pocket or to help increase your exposure. That's pretty much what I have to say. And we'll be there
Well, you know, as the president of Latinos in Information Sciences and Technology Association, when we first came together in 1997, the least thing that we were talking about was, you know, apps or being able to market to the Hispanic community through our technology. All we wanted to do is make sure that everybody had a database. And things have changed so much now, like you say, and have a website. Nobody really has a strong website. Everything is done social media now. So one of the things that I've been seeing is there's a lot of websites like, say, Foursquare, which basically makes what we used to do an instant process. In less than 40 minutes, 50 minutes, you can have presence online. But the problem is, how do you drive traffic? How do you drive the people to look to your website? Because the content has to be fresh, it's gotta be interesting, it's gotta be on, you know, and one of the things, again, what you guys are doing is totally out of the box, what we call disruptive, and this is why we're here today. I wanna bring up my good friend, Raul. I remember, I'll give you a real story, long story, a long time ago with myself. In another life, I also worked as an A&R guy for Sony Tropical. And, you know, I also worked with a group of people in New York that brought Fernandito Villalona for the first time. And Raul was the opening act. Fernandito was strong, but Raul came up there and tore it up after. I mean, this band tore it up. So I wanted to say thank you for all those years of music.
Thank you, great story. Buenos días. Mi nombre es Raúl Acosta. I've been in the Latin music industry doing tours and doing productions and doing everything that goes on behind the music industry since 1994 professionally, but most of my life pretty much since I was a little kid. Just to tell you a quick recap on our story, we pretty much started a group of Dominican and Puerto Rican guys out of New York, and by innovating and doing new things and incorporating the English language to merengue, we were able to grow to the top of the market of not just New York City, but then we made a point to extend to the whole world. So currently, for the last 20 years, we toured to about 100 different cities where all the bigger Hispanic markets are, and that's about 60 cities within the US, about 22 cities in South America, and about 20 cities in Europe and the Caribbean, as you may know. And throughout our career, we learned in the entertainment business that we went from being artists to owning our own record labels, to making our own concerts, to then we started headed into buying our own radio station and investing in television stations and investing in digital medias, just because it's all part of one. It's all entertainment, it's all driving people to do fun things, driving people and traffic to things that they want to do, that they feel good about, and hopefully do things where everybody can have fun and at the same time make money. And the reason we're here today is to talk about the apps, where I was very fortunate to be recommended a few months ago to Jose and his company, and we started where I wanted to make an app for my band, Foro Solido, where I would play my music and have our new videos and ticket sales and all that stuff. And it turns out that being also in the media business, I realized that, wow, you know, we could make an app for a television channel and stream it and do business. We could make an app for a radio station and stream it and do business. We're making apps for digital news sites and do business. So we kind of took an idea that we had for the band and just turned it into a multimedia operation now, where we're looking to hopefully reach tens, if not hundreds of millions of people by the end of 2015 through all the apps and through all the different outlets that we have. And a lot of that, I didn't mention, includes a lot of concerts. Just to talk about, to give you a perspective on the number of concerts that go on in the United States through our partners and our partners' partners, we understand that there's about one average, we're talking about 1,000 tropical events in the whole United States throughout the year. That's salsa, merengue, bachata, reggaeton, and whatnot, and 9,000 Mexican events a year. I mean, the American market does not come anywhere near that. So to Jose's point, we love to party, we love to make noise, we love to be good consumers and good spend, and there's a great market out there, and I think us as Latinos should be right up there among the first to make benefits of it. So that's all I wanted to say. I wanted to thank you and good luck, and if you have any questions, I'm willing to answer.
You know, we don't only like to make noise, but we also like to make money. And we're learning how to do that right now. Because today, has this been helpful to all of you? Yes. Anybody?
Yes.
Okay. All right, my last group is the people who invented my lingo, and this is disruptive technology at its best. This is where we need to be, and a lot of us more have to understand how to be this way. So I'm glad you guys saw a problem, you filled the niche, and Ola or Olega and Adam, please come on. Let's hear your story. How you started this application. And by the way, their application was the application that was used for the translation of Cesar Chavez for those parts that were, am I correct?
Yeah.
Good. You guys take it away. I can't do a better job than that.
Hello, I'm Alenka Polak. This is my brother Adam
Let's
Polak.
go.
I'm 20 and he's 24. And when I was, 17, we were taking our cousins who were visiting from Poland, because we grew up in a Polish-speaking household, out to a movie near us in Connecticut. And the movie, of course, was playing in English. It was Hugo, actually. And we went to go see Hugo, and our cousin complained afterwards. He said, I didn't like the movie, I didn't understand it, why'd you guys take me out to an English movie? And we loved Hugo, I mean, who doesn't? So we saw that there was a problem with people who would most likely go or attend movies and people who don't understand them. Our parents also never went to the movies with us because they didn't understand the English language. So we realized that this is a problem, but there is a solution out there because DVDs are released in alternative languages. If we go to Poland, the movie's playing in Polish. So where are these audio tracks and how can we make them available on a platform so that no matter where you are in the world, you can access them? So our cousins who are visiting from Poland can maybe on their phone choose the Polish language audio track of Hugo, put in their headphones, and listen to the movie without having to be bothered with translation or to just completely zone out of the whole experience. So what we had to do was locate those language tracks, which were owned by the Hollywood studios, put them on an app platform, and our technology that we developed actually uses the onboard microphone, just like Shazam, to indicate at what point you're playing in the movie and play that alternative language track at the same exact time.
So a lot of people, a lot of people ask if it's a hassle or annoying when you're in a theater and you're hearing two different audio tracks, because this isn't just the dialogue track. This is the FX track. This is everything. This is everything you hear in the theaters coming out in the speakers in the theaters, internationally. And because it's so synced up, and the bass rumbling outside externally, and the bass in the earphones, it becomes a very seamless experience. What we like to say is, we want you to get lost in the movies, not in translation. We don't want people worrying about seeing what's going on. My dad nudging me all the time, asking what's happening, and keep on having to turn my head and explain. It's even if you could watch the movie in English and kind of get what's going on, you're not really enjoying. You're not really immersing yourself in the experience, which is going to the movies is all about. Right? You want to take it to another world and not be constantly trying to figure out who that guy is, what the heck's going on in this movie.
Yeah, so what we realized though is that, I don't know for you guys, but my mom's iPhone and my dad's iPhone, all those apps downloaded, I downloaded for them. So we understood that we had to connect with the millennials, the bilingual millennials, to communicate to them that this is an option for either them if they want to practice their other language, or for their parents or relatives visiting or friends, that they could access this. So right now, this is our first launch with Cesar Chavez, and what we're figuring out is exactly how to connect to those bilingual millennials so they could download the app for, like I just said, their relatives.
There's a lot of people who could connect through a social network, right, virtually, but what we're trying to do is get people to connect with the physical world, actually go to the movies together. You know, you're not gonna have to leave the people that don't understand English too well behind. Everyone gets to enjoy the movies together, laugh at the same time, you know, enjoy the popcorn experience, and really connecting people as families, and just as an entire group.
Right, so the idea here is we want to one day be able to sit with our parents in between us and listen to it in Polish. But Polish is a little bit further down the line. There's some more,
we have a couple languages to go.
Yeah, so we're starting off with the Spanish language. We're very, very happy to be here with you guys today in Hispanicize and get to know this demographic a little bit better. So please, we invite you to go see the movie Cesar Chavez and listen to it in Spanish. We'd love to get your feedback. How do you like it? Was the app easy to understand? And if you have any suggestions, I mean, you guys know this market the best, so anything we could learn from you, we're very happy to be here.
Thank you very much, Pastor.
Definitely, disruptive technology is the way to go. We need to make sure that we're doing this more and more. I give you guys a big hand on that because you guys really saw the niche, and I think it's perfect. Yeah, it can get tiresome. Yeah. Sí, pero espérate. MyLingo.
MyLingo app, and MyLingo is one word. All the postcards on the receipt is actually.
Yeah. Does anybody have any questions for them right now? Yes?
How do you guys make money out of it? Who's paying for?
Well, we're working on the revenue model right now, but we're leaning towards maybe consumer facing for the beginning until we're able to, you know, gain some leverage and show that people do want this and knock on the studio's doors to make sure that every language is available.
So you developed the app to solve an issue primarily.
Exactly. We just kept on saying, if only they could go to the movies with us. If only, you know, someone's got to do this. You know, why not?
And let me also emphasize that these audio tracks are already completed by the studios, but the Polish language audio track lives in Poland. And what about all the millions of Polish people who prefer to see a movie in Polish all around the world? So we're just making it accessible to everyone at the same time.
Anybody else? Rob.
So in theory, you have the same app for any movie live?
Exactly. If it's pre-recorded content, right? It's not an instant translator, or you know, would be a far bigger deal. But yeah, so anything that's pre-recorded, we want to universalize media. You can watch it anywhere. You're in France, a Japanese person in Germany, anywhere you are, you could enjoy the language of your choice.
Yes.
So you download the application on your iPhone or your iOS, and then that's free. And then eventually you go and there's a log of audio tracks for what the movies that are available. And then those are the ones that you download separately. But the actual app is free, right?
Exactly. So we encourage you to download it and try it out.
Right.
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Yeah. Usually, how you protect the idea that you have? Other people can come with similar ideas and.
Well, that's kind of the.
Oh, how you do that? Because I know that in the app world, I don't know how advanced it is. Trademarks.
You have to go.
I know.
We're watching.
What's the name?
No. He's a good guy.
So we're actually you know, working on protecting our idea when it comes to patent rights and different ideas, but really the name of the game is execution, right?
Okay.
Instagram got huge and big, and what is it, right? Just a bunch of photos and comments. But they executed it perfectly and very quickly and got the audience first. So we're hoping that you support MyLingo first, and whatever, you know, copycats come along, like, you're with us, right?
And like we mentioned, the technology is very similar to Shazam, and it's an audio acoustic fingerprinting that's around. And
I mean, we have our secret sauce, but obviously it's nothing, you know, we don't have a huge fence that no one could ever, you know, try something like this.
Okay.
Okay, I have two questions. One is, do you guys have to pay the studios right now for those audio tracks?
Well, that's all an evolving discussion that we have to figure things out, because usually you could compare something to another industry that already exists, but there's never been decoupling video and audio, so it's very much a, you know, how do we do this? It's a very new idea, so we're working.
Yeah.
So can you use it if you're watching a movie at home?
Can you use it to?
Oh, absolutely. At home, off your laptop, anywhere that's playing external audio, we're good to go.
And just to give you an idea, we downloaded the app and we used it on our network. We have OBN Latino, and it was speaking only in Spanish. It was a Cuban show, and we were hearing it in English. So it was pretty cool.
Sorry, I have one more question. Were you guys both developers, or were one of you a developer?
Oh, well, we have our developers, we have our developer team that work on the code, but really, titles don't mean much when it's a startup. We kind of all do everything, pull ideas, and kind of work together really quickly. It's not so, cut and paste, so right now.
So you can code?
Well, I can code, but I wouldn't say I'm good.
Anybody else? Sure.
So you did say it has to have an external audio source, correct?
Exactly.
Okay.
For now.
So I'm going to bring up Raul Acosta. I'm sure you have a lot of questions for him.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, guys.
Any questions starting off for Raul?
Anything to do with, there were some things that I forgot to mention before. On the music side, with the application, one of the things that we're doing is showcasing and doing contests. So one of the things that the apps did on the most part that I forgot to mention was take all these 100 cities and unite them as one. So now I got the promoters from Mexico and New York and Miami and Cancun and Santiago, Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico, everybody on the same page. And that's allowed us to also develop business on the ticket side, kind of a ticket master, but on the app world. And there's a bunch of different positive and, like you said, groundbreaking operations that we're working on with the Pro Mobile guys.
Do you feel that your fame as a musician has translated this into an easier turnover to become this app now that people already know that 24 karat entertainment?
Of course. We're using the apps mainly, like I said, for marketing, to show new videos, to do contests. We actually putting together a contest now where we're gonna have radio stations in these different cities promote people to download the app, and we're figuring out a winner within the app that's going to get a free contest, a free concert, a free pajama party with the whole band in the house. In whatever part of the world the winner comes from. So that's the different things that you could pull off with an app, because people feel hip with the app and people always have the mobile on them. Yes.
I'm from the Dominican Republic, and I want to know what's your experience with the consumers there using the app and downloading the content?
From what I know of the island through our media business, we have a media business that owns 20 TV stations here in the United States and about 40 more. So we have a big research department that comes from each of the different networks. And what we know about Dominicans is that they over-index also buying cell phones, so obviously they're downloading a lot of mobile, they're very much online, they use everything over there. They're one of the biggest countries by consumers to use one app from all Latin America. And they're very, it's the typical Latin American country that's supposed to be a lot of low income, but you go there, see a bunch of Mercedes-Benz, every other car is a BMW, every other car is some spaceship that you've never seen in this country, but it came from Europe. Politicians here, they get in trouble for $1,000, $100,000. Over there, the politicians have helicopters parked in their house and their roofs and all that. So the country over there has a ton of money and a ton of primos in New York, and primos in Miami, primos in Boston, so there's a lot of communication going back and forth. And we manage 2 Dominican channels, and what we learned is that literally, vice versa, what happens in DR at 8 o'clock in the morning, it's news in New York at 8:05, and vice versa. And that's got to do because of the media, and the social, and the way everybody's interacting. But great consumers amongst a lot of the bigger brands that do test, they feel that Dominicans are great consumers in New York or here in most areas in the United States because of their loyalty. A lot of Latinos, they'll listen to, for example, a salsa station, and if they don't like the song, they'll listen to a hip hop station. If they don't like that, they'll listen to a rock station. Dominicans and some other communities, they might get pissed off, they don't like what they're hearing, but they're loyal. And the same goes with food, like Goya. The executives at Goya are friends of ours, and they tell us the same thing, that literally they've helped build their whole empire on the Dominican community in New York because of all the bodegas and supermarkets and the loyalty.
And for example, you're in music, but we have a magazine, a sexual education magazine and nutrition magazine, and we want to make contents to connect with the Dominicans that are here and with the Hispanicized person that speak it.
Through television, through different medias. Do you guys have a website?
Yes, we have a website and a TV program of sexual education and a magazine. And when is the first step to promote this type of app for the persons that live here and speak Spanish?
There's a lot, thank God, now you see something that you don't see, that you didn't see 10, 20 years before. 10, 20 years ago, it was all Univision and Telemundo, and that's it. Today, Dominicans got their channels, Puerto Ricans got their channels, Central Americans, Salvadorians, Nicaraguans, everybody has at least 2 channels of their own. So you could literally now pick out what country you want to target, where before you couldn't do that. So you pick out the countries, you pick out the different medias that target those countries, and you get the social aspect behind it hard. But it's way easier now than it was years ago. And I'll be happy to give you my card there so you can submit your shows to our production group.
Okay, well, thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else before I get up here? Okay. Ariel, let's talk a little bit about nonprofit. How does a nonprofit use apps to be able to, say it's NCLR or LULAC, how do they use those new applications to make sure that their donor base is affected? How do we get them to engage their clientele?
Well, as for nonprofits, social media and mobile apps could be very useful, as you mentioned, for fundraising campaigns. Not only for fundraising campaigns, but also for petitions, for calls for advocacy. A lot of nonprofits tend to work around, depending on what the nonprofit focuses on, tend to work around and advocate around different legislations and policies and budgets, whether it's in the depending city, state, or federal. So the mobile apps and social media could be one. It can be used to raise awareness and get people involved and engaged, and provide them with information in regards to whatever issue they're advocating for. Second, they can use it to do a fundraising campaign in regards to a program that they want to implement, a project that they want to start, or something that they want to continue or take their nonprofit to the next level. So mobile apps and social media can be used to do these things with nonprofit organizations.
Any questions?
Any questions?
Yes? No questions?
I guess I did a good job.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much. And last but not least, I want to bring up the sponsor of this event. I want to give him a hand for having the vision to be able to have as well. I would say, one of the things what I heard from your conversation was collaboration. And the importance of collaboration in all of our community of making sure that we're able to not only work together, but to play together. And since we are online more than anybody, we should be able to share our knowledge amongst each other. And so give me a little bit of an idea of how you use collaboration with other organizations to be able to make your platform much stronger.
Sure, well, we worked with one of the biggest radio stations in New York, SBS. They were pretty much a dominant force at radio, but didn't find a way to connect. They had their own app, but they didn't find a way. They were charging for it. They didn't find a way to get people to download it. So they were like, something must be wrong. We're missing the cut. They just had a way to stream the radio, and pretty much that's it. But when we created the DJ Phone Master Flex app, not only would you have the ability to stream radio, but also listen to exclusive music, but also then get special deals via that, and also engage. At the end of the day, if you can go to one app and also tweet, Instagram, upload, you know, like also on there. So that's one way we could collaborate. But also there's different, we've also done different campaigns with like restaurants also, which for example with Ariel, we're doing Restaurant Week in Washington Heights. So it's a way for local businesses to basically have no website or no presence at mobile. Some of them don't even have social media presence. They're for a small fee, they can upload you know, their logos and information, and even, you know, get a price fix and get the amount of marketing attention and awareness and campaigns that we're going to evolve all under an app and a website. So that's a different way. You know, we live in a world where we're kind of stuck in doing things more in a traditional way. But now mobile platforms allow anybody to pretty much go out there and create their own business also, because that's very, very important.
And one of the things that you have to remember is that you don't necessarily have to be a coder or need to understand the technology as much as being able to run a business. Let us techs do what we do, and we'll help you do what you do even better. So, was there anything else? Any questions?
Yeah, any questions? Yes.
Yes, sir.
When you're consulting, do you provide the mechanisms or the technology for them to track impressions? Because working on the agency side is always, what is this going to reach? Like, how many people is this going to reach?
Yes.
What's my impression? Like, do you consult?
Yeah, we have our own internal analytics, but there's companies like Flurry that give you precise, you know, that's a good way to kind of figure out if your campaign did well or not. Okay, look, we're gonna put up this special, or if, you know, or a QRC code where you can kind of scan something. Let's see how many people engaged or how many tweets. Also, we can do so. Not only do analytics work, also, but we also use social media, like hashtag campaigns, also to kind of see the awareness of how things are going on.
Yes.
So I work for a company who on web. We are the largest affiliate network of radio stations in second-tier markets.
Okay.
And you know, we have a lot of news, right? We saw a lot of traffic coming from mobile to our website. So we thought, well, listen, we have to do an app, right? What is your advice though on doing a mobile version of your website rather than having to go the app route?
Great question. That's one of the things that, that's one of the biggest questions people actually go through. Should I do a mobile website or a native app, right? So, for example, I'll use this event. We actually created the Hispanicized Wire app. You know, they have a great website, but you know, some people have websites with Flash, and it just doesn't relate to your mobile devices. So imagine having an actual app where it communicates with your site with all the information. It keeps it current, right? And at the same time, you can maintain the user within pretty much the same platform and not have to, because sometimes when you're on a website, you click the link, oh, it shoots you, get a pop-up, it shoots you somewhere else. And us as Latinos, we have kind of like technology ADD, because on 1 second you're on Facebook, oh my God, hold on, somebody sent me on Instagram, wait, somebody just tweeted me, hold on a second, and, you know, oh, Pinterest has a new thing, hold on a second, you know, so, you know, there's so much technology out there, and you know, I'm number one on the list, but you can maintain them. If you see a lot of these huge, like Instagram, a lot of the bigger apps and platforms, they find a way to maintain you within their app. So if we're gonna give you ads, we're gonna keep you within there. And you know, and pretty much that's just the best way, because then if you have an affiliate, you can kind of find ways to kind of market yourself and brand. And for bloggers, you know, if I know one of the biggest things that you guys have is banner space, selling ad space within your website. So if you could do that and still kind of keep them within there, it's also a win-win situation. Yes, that's all. Question.
Great. I know that we're short on time, so I'll be really quick.
Yeah.
I'm Delda Medina. I'm going to be running up Young Ventures, which is a mobile accelerator for Latinos in the mobile space. So I really love what all of you are doing, because you're really solving real-life issues. And the reality is that when we think about our phones, and I was wondering what you think about this, because I constantly tell people, it's not a phone, it's a mini computer. And we don't talk about it that way, so I'd like to get your thoughts.
Yeah, it's I'd say mobile is not it's not a platform, it's a way of life now, because if we were maybe a couple of years back, we would have seen wires go all over the place here with people with their laptops, now a tablet and your phone, you're pretty much on the go, or you need some Wi-Fi. So I feel that, you know, little by little, we're taking over the mobile space, and I think I'd say about 3 years ago, we reached about 2 billion, I'd say about 2 years ago, we reached about 2 billion apps downloaded. Now, there's about 2 billion apps being downloaded in a month, or if not a week. You know, numbers change consistently. So, people might find it challenging, but you gotta find your niche and your space in it. The same way you might have created a blog, oh, I found something that, you know, I know somebody spoke about sexual education here and health. You know, you find a niche and something to do within your realm. Now, you could even kind of magnify it times 10 in the mobile world, because you can engage with people so much quicker, which that's one of the best things.
Well, that's it. We are
Last question.
We are short on time.
It's a good question. What about e-commerce? With Latin, we found out that Latins love to search
To purchase,
online. We
yes.
love to see it, but when it's the time to buy, they prefer to buy in the desktop. Because they want to print the receipt, they want to keep it. So how we can cross that bridge? How can we
Well,
take that?
right, because to this point, and I'll be real quick, to this point, the way people have just laid out the e-commerce process has been a little bit more confusing. So I think the more we organize ourselves, the higher res pictures, the simplify the process. I think PayPal has helped a lot for people, because now it's all, you know, I got my, you know what it is, with phones, people weren't sure if I'm logged into an account or they're gonna steal my credit card information, but now technologies like Google Wallet and PayPal have allowed people to kind of seamlessly just go in there and hey, I like this, buy it, and you know, and go. But also things like Pinterest, yeah, right. And then Pinterest has allowed people to kind of like, I know females like window shopping, so now you can digital window shop without having to go out to the malls and you know, and go look for parking or something. You can kind of do that from the comfort of your home. So e-commerce now is it's definitely the new wave of the future. I know, from where I'm from in Washington Heights, New York, there's a lot of independent clothing companies who are making tons of money just by having an e-commerce solution and putting out their own products. So I definitely think that's something, you know, that's a great opportunity, and you know, anybody can do it pretty much. So, you know, we'll be here all week. We have a booth, and you can follow us at 360 Pro Mobile. Thank you very much for having us.
You know, I'm going to close with something very simple, because it seems like, you know, I'm the only thing coming between you and lunch. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to tell you a quote. The world is very different now. For man holds in his mortal hands the power to abolish all forms of human poverty and all forms of human life. We have a big, commitment to our community to make sure that they understand what's going on. We are the ones who are first adopting, and we need to go into our communities and tell everybody, here's what I learned at Hispanicize, this is what needs to get out there. So that way they could probably say, I'm gonna come to Hispanicize next year. Anyway, thank you very much for your time. I hope that this gave you a little bit of a window into what we're doing when it comes to disruptive technology. Thank you for standing and listening to our conversation.